You look at this. This one.
The beginning of the cycle of fulfillment. The fulfilling prophetic
You must see
conversions.
the word, fulfillment, prophetic convergence of the Semitic and the Eastern line. Semitic is the Western line.
Right.
This is the Eastern line. You have to learn this. Okay? Prophets and avatars. So you can see, you're talking time, isn't it? See the time.
Right.
See,
These are the main prophets,
those are major.
major prophets.
See, Rasuls. They are coming in this line. Like what you said, the time.
The question of when.
Time and space, that time, the world was not fully recognized as one. Geographically also they don't know. People also different, don't know where this world, how. So the Western line was mainly started with Adam and went through all the prophets, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. So you can see this. See? So this is the timeline. These are the prophets. But it is progressive. You see? From this time coming up. At the same time, we have the Eastern line. The 10 avatars.
But is this major prophets?
Yeah, avatars. Krishna, Buddha, they are all major. They brought, avatar, but they call avatars.
They are prophets. Avatar means prophets.
Why are they called avatars and not prophets?
That is the language issue. This is what you must not get confused. Language has always divided us. I give you.
That's why I'm saying
I
just
give you
now.
example.
Right.
God is one, but India they call it Brahman. Arab called Allah, English called God, Malay called Tuhan, but they are the same. The trouble is that we think they are different, the people, ignorance.
Because of language.
Language. Don't let language blind you. When there is only one God, how can you divide? So this line of prophet, they prophesy the coming of the 10th avatar, Kalki. Yet to come, it seems. See. Baha'u'llah fulfills, and that's why the conversion comes. Kalki. The Eastern line and the Western line converges and get united under Kalki avatar.
So is Baha'u'llah that prophet?
Kalki.
Okay. He's the one
That means for this line, he is Kalki. For this line, he is promise of all ages.
It's kind of baffling that we are living in this era where Baha'u'llah has
Yes.
kind of...
This is the age of unity. The age that the God is one becomes a reality, not just in the head, in the life and the behavior. That's why you have to understand this 10th avatar. So you must take this. This is very important. So, how do you feel about it? When this happens, this is the growth. See. Family man, tribal man.
Individual man, family man, clan man, tribal man, race man, nation man, global man, universal spiritual man.
This is the evolution. Social evolution. This is our age now. We are creating the spiritual man. Man, spiritual man, different, you know.
I think the reason why it's hard to accept is because 1,000 years.
Yes.
So 1,000 years is how many generations ago?
Divide by 25.
How many generations is that? Like 8, maybe? 7, 8 generations?
Yeah.
So how are we gonna change when our great grandfather adapted a religion at that time and brought it down through generations,
Yeah.
and we are born into it?
Yeah.
And then now you're telling me it's like there's a new prophet with new revelation and I just have to accept?
No, it is continuity. It is continuity. Only thing, like major change, like suddenly you realize in your life something very important. So these things, so there's nothing contradictory, nothing you say you are wrong, I am right, doesn't apply.
Because they all came from the same source.
Yeah. It's like, you see,
It's different times.
it's like,
But it's too long.
you know,
Thousand
ushering
years.
going all days, like connected.
Why 1,000 years? Why not 100 years? Why not 10 years? Why not every year send a prophet?
Why you must go to school for 1 year?
So some people don't have to go to school for 1 year if they're intelligent
Now.
enough, consciously.
General.
Because the human development takes that long to understand consciousness.
Exactly the same.
But 1,000 years might be too long.
1,000 years, no. We have to spread everywhere.
Achha, we don't even live for 1,000 years.
You don't live.
So I have to tell my great grandkids.
That, you see, that connected beach-like thing, they are moving, you know. That intelligence is transferred to the next one. Transferred to the next one. We are connected. We are not separate. It's like the beads connected. The beads, then the screen is connecting all the beads.
Human life
Yeah,
is only 90 years?
yeah.
Max 100 if you're lucky.
You are thinking human life. I'll tell you there is no end.
But we
Where's the
cannot-
genes?
Yeah, how to...
The genes. Inside the genes, the intelligent. It is growing. It is not dead. It doesn't die.
Okay, wait, let me ask you this question. If human life is about 90 years, why God never sent a prophet every 90 years? Easier, isn't it? Because it's one human life, isn't it?
No. He doesn't see one life. You see humanity as a whole. You must see as a whole, not one life. For the whole and the geographical situation, the communication level, technology and all that, it will take time before you understand the world is one building. You see now the Baha'i faith, they're building, the institutions slowly, the House of Justice and all that. They're evolving step by step. And for people to accept it, understand, you need that kind of time. Fulfillment.
8 generations is too long and it gets very confusing.
Oh,
That's why people cannot accept the new faith.
they are not supposed to accept you like that. They're supposed to accept, and then slowly it grows into all the life forms until it reaches a critical mass, then it controls. The critical mass is like 30% of the population, spread all over, not one place. And the authority is given. Then the world becomes one organism. So for that to evolve, that's the time given. If God wants to change the proof, then what is the use?
The question of 1,000 years is, it's like why?
1,000 years is not very long, I'm telling you.
Well, it's long for
Jesus
a-
came, what is now, 2,000 years?
Yeah, it's long for a human being, like one human being. Also.
No, you don't separate the human being like you must see the connection that we are one, but in phases we are growing. You see, you die, you pass the intelligence to the next one. You die, you pass the intelligence.
Okay, with that logic, is why, because you're passing down my grandfather has passed it to you, you have passed it to me.
Yeah, not just passed, added on.
Okay,
The
understandable.
90 years of
Okay.
experience is added into that gene and given to you.
Okay. With that logic, now a new revelation comes in my lifetime.
Okay.
How am I supposed to accept that based on this logic? Because you have passed this revelation down to me. Now this new revelation has come. How am I supposed to accept this? Because you have
Because
passed
the
it.
old revelation prophesies the coming of the new. That's the connection.
But that's what people get confused, because it's that's what reincarnation is in Hinduism, but they totally misconstrued that fact.
Yes.
That's what the second coming of Jesus is, but they misconstrued that fact.
Yeah, that's why
Because why,
Abdul
Chad?
Baha explains.
Yeah, but because why, sir? Because we only live for 90 years.
So, what's wrong with that? Our body lives for 90 years, not the knowledge that. Don't forget that. The knowledge doesn't die. The chip which contains knowledge doesn't die. It is only transferred. It goes, expands, more knowledge, transfer to the next one. So how can you say death? Individual body dies 90 years. Humanity don't die. You have to see from that angle, both individual and collective.
Just the understanding of 1,000 years to me is kind of. It's like I don't know why 1,000 years. Why 1,000 years? Why not 2,000 years? Why not 3,000 years?
Well, the wisdom of God, we human beings can understand.
1,000 years is 1,000 revolution around the sun. That's 1,000 years, right? Earth going around the sun is 1 year. So that's 1,000 times spinning around the sun.
Okay, well,
1,000 is
that, you see,
so long.
that's what you're asking is like you want to debate, you want to talk. But the fact is, what is happening? You must see what is happening as we go. Maturity.
Right.
You are maturing. It's like you growing up. Okay, when you reach certain adulthood, you got certain character. Then you go into adulthood, you go middle age, you are very quiet.
Let's just sit down. I think it's
No, it's okay. I will go to listening.
So, it's moving.
It's a very like a big scope, looking at the whole multiverse, I would say.
Look at the big picture.
But it's very hard for someone who lives 90 years to look at that, because now if my grandfather tells me that he's a Muslim, you know, and then follows the word of Muhammad, and that's it.
What did Muhammad say?
Yeah, well, it always gets
1,000 years.
but it always gets misinterpreted.
Muhammad clearly says 1,000. Why are you questioning that? That means you are not believing in him.
People ask which surah and which verse.
I
and all
told
that.
you, 32 verse 5.
Okay, 32 verse 5. Okay.
1,000 years. It's Baha'i. The Baha'i scholars all confirm. 1,000 years. Why they don't talk about it? That is where we call attachment and detachment.
There you go. That is where I'm going at.
See, huh?
I'm attached to my grandfather's and father's words.
See, in the Kitab-i-Iqan, the book of certitude,
What is the Kitab?
it starts, no man, remember this verse, no man shall attain the shores of true understanding until he has detached himself from all that is in heaven and on earth. Tell me what it means. No man can attain the shores of true understanding until he has detached himself from all that is in heaven and on earth. So, when you attach to the oil and you don't detach, you cannot see them.
So what is the detachment like? What does that mean? What does that
Okay.
mean? Do I have to like
When
strip myself and go and sit in the mountain somewhere?
you get attached to the way you were living based on the old revelation, and you just follow. But if you are not detached, you will be stuck and you won't bother about what actually should have happened. That's why the Baha'i rabbis always say you have to be detached from the past.
But I'm born to a religion.
Not mine.
I'm born in attachment.
Whatever you are born to, whichever religion, when the time comes, you have to accept the new. It is not different religion. There is no different religion. There's only one religion coming from one source with different people, different language, different culture. So, you know how I feel. I have been in the same religion from day one. God's religion.
It's very unique. You were born a Hindu,
Yeah,
which is like the first religion.
same. God's religion.
5,000 years ago. And you accepted the latest one.
Promised by the old one.